Hello, Footballer Nation, and welcome to the greatest rising podcast in football. My name is Carson, and I am a very sad cardsaholic.
Snow, it's your resident buildaholic here coming at you. You debut our snow uniforms. That's why I made the joke, because snow and no, yeah, see? Yeah.
And I mean, you're very conflicted Bearsaholic.
To hear more about the last 2 weeks in this possibly a little longer episode, make sure to stay tuned for the rest of this episode that we're going to fly through. But first, let's go ahead and roll that Season 2 intro. Hello, Footballer Nation, and welcome to Footballers Anonymous, the greatest rising podcast in football, and the only podcast that opens up every single week answering the questions you guys give us. So,
now, before we talk about the questions, y'all should question my decision of ordering a Rivals jersey to the wrong location.
Did you really do
Granted,
that?
it's still in my possession. It's just not. It wasn't shipped to my dorm. It was shipped to my house.
Nice.
So I can't wear it.
Dang.
So I done goofed. My bad, guys.
That's unfortunate. We would like to open today's episode with we asked you to ask us questions and we answered them, starting off with a question from Michael Ruby. He asks, can you guys please talk about the greatest running back ever, Jordan Davis? For context, Jordan Davis was the defensive tackle who returned the Eagles' blocked kick against the Rams at the end of the game for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Running back. And hey, he got up to speed. He found the gap. He hit it. He got moving. As far as running backs go, I'd say that's a top 3 play this season amongst running backs.
He ran the ball. He scored. He's one for every single run he's had has been a touchdown. Think about it.
Every carry he's had has gone for a score.
Listen, when I look at Jordan Davis and what he did, I see he ran the ball back, which is by definition a running back. So clearly you know what? I haven't seen anyone else run back better than he has. So really, you could say he is the greatest running back in the league.
Yeah, Jordan Davis just has a lot of grit, and it really showed on that run.
Good catch there. Our next question comes from Carson Griffith on YouTube. Shout out our YouTube comments. And this question is actually from our week 2 episode. We obviously did not make a week 3 episode because we got very tied up and bad scheduling. We just decided to wrap it into this week. So this one's a little overdue, but it asks, are the Seahawks a top 5 defense? That's a great question, Carson.
Actually,
Also
I
a great name,
yes.
by the way.
I do also want to say yes as well. I had very high hopes going into the season. I thought they were already top 5 going into the season, and then I got my mind changed, and now my mind is corrected again, and the Seahawks defense is for real.
My thought process, the only team I can really I know there's probably other teams that are about their level, but the only defense I really can accurately say is 100% better than the Seahawks, the Texans defense, because I think they're the best defense in the league.
Wow.
Going into the season, I said the Broncos, they're still up there, but not necessarily playing up to the best defense at this current moment. There's definitely it's not like the Ravens situation where we're saying they're a really good defense and they just haven't been. The Broncos' defense has still been good. It's just
Who could have said that, bro?
What?
Who could have said that, bro? Who could have thought the Ravens would have a good defense, bro?
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, obviously.
Was it Footballers Aholic?
Honestly, I'm kind of glad I'm answering this question now, because had I answered it last week, my answer probably would have been different. Yeah, no, they're legit. The secondary is incredible. I mean, they always have a good secondary, but they've also beefed up their defensive line really well, and they're an incredible unit. I had no faith in this defense or this offense really going into this season, but I had lots of faith in the Bills defense and the Ravens defense. So I obviously just don't know what I'm talking about on defense. I low-key dropped the ball there. So yes, Carson, again, great name by the way. The
Maybe
Seahawks...
you dropped the ball because of the jersey you're wearing.
Oh, do I need to display my Marvin Harrison Jr. rivalries jersey? Listen, I may have dropped the ball, but not as badly as he did, so I'm doing okay so far. Low key, we do need to sign Ian in our wide receiver core in Arizona. Like, genuinely, we'd be a Super Bowl team instantly.
We know the entire the entire Cardinals front office watches us, so
it's true.
To all the front office members of the Cardinals watching right now,
Shout out John Cannon.
Fly me out, give me a tryout, see what happens. See what happens.
I'm telling you,
you might as well. As well.
This guy, he's the real deal. We have another question from Carl Holmberg. And he asks us to talk about recent officiating awfulness.
I think every game has been called perfectly. I think it's been the most fair the NFL's ever been. I haven't seen a single bad call, a single blunder. In fact, I think the refs deserve a raise this year. I think a couple of them should make more than the players, just with how good some of these calls are. And if you disagree, then get out there and do it yourself.
So
there's a reason why Ian's wearing glasses, because most referees are blind.
So I'm currently sending you guys something on Instagram.
All three of us wear glasses.
Yeah.
No.
I'm currently sending you guys something on Instagram. This was attached.
I've seen this. I've seen this clip. Yeah, he's entirely on sides in this entire clip. In fact, he hardly moves. You can't call it. You can't call that in motion. You can't call it offsides. You can't call it anything because he is entirely stationary and he stays on the defensive side the entire time.
This question is in reference to the Wake Forest Georgia Tech football game that ended in an overtime loss for Wake Forest after an egregious missed onside call by the referees.
Pretty good no call, actually. I don't think there should have been a call there.
Right.
This call was so bad that the ACC put out an apology.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the ACC just doing fan service.
No, in all seriousness, I will say referees were a little worse last year, honestly. Being completely honest. So far. I mean, it could definitely get a lot worse. But I think this is a good time to talk about the tush push because that play is extremely difficult to officiate. Every tush push either has a false start, which is most of the time. It either has a false start or a neutral zone infraction. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the tush push should not be banned because the Eagles are too good at it. It's simply, and I've kind of changed my opinion on this recently, the fact of the matter that it's nearly impossible to officiate without like a drone or a camera or just something, slow motion replay. Real time officiating with that, I mean, they're all so bunched up together. It's hard to.
I do agree with Alex here. A lot of the clips you see on social media of these false starts, they're very zoomed in. They're very like super slow motion, super zoomed in, and it's super easy to pick it apart when it's like that. Try being on the field, off to the side, just watch with your eyes. Also keep in mind, there's a bunch of other stuff you have to be looking for. It's not super easy to do. Not everyone can do it. But that being said, they could be a little bit better.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the other thing. If there was a better, like if they could get better with the officiating of it, it probably wouldn't be as bad.
See, I understand it sometimes because I know that they have all of these resources and they could dissect the tush push play with replay assist if they really wanted to. But when you have a team like the Eagles, who anytime it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they're going to run this play. Fact of the matter is you cannot stop the game to review video footage of this tush push every single time, especially when you have stats like, I believe it was week 3, where the stat was 12% of the Eagles' offensive snaps were tush pushes. You cannot be stopping the offensive play every, the 12% of snaps. That's ridiculous. So there are a lot of questions of whether it should just be banned because there are technically lots of penalties being committed, or if it should just become a free-for-all.
It could also be just a matter of getting a drone, like a referee on a drone or something, just during the games.
That'd be high.
I feel like that wouldn't stop the game if they just saw it on the thing, saw it on the screen, but it's hard to tell. And the whole thing with the tush push is that if the penalties were called, it would not be as free because if you get called for a penalty on a tush push, you go from 3rd third and inches or fourth and inches to third and 5 or fourth and 5. Like that's a drastic difference, obviously. That's a lot just for a false start. So it would drastically change the landscape if the penalties were a little more accurately called. And if the penalties were more accurately called, the play would both probably get ran less, but also more importantly, it would give teams like the incentive to really refine it and teach the discipline behind it. And then if the Eagles hit that point, for example, maybe it would be fair and it would also be very good. But it's kind of hard to judge right now, just given the landscape with all the poor officiating surrounding it.
To answer the original question, which had absolutely nothing to do with the tush push at all. Yes, Georgia Tech was offsides and Wake Forest was robbed of that game, but they also sold in overtime, so they kind of did it to themselves. But yes, very poor officiating there and all across football in general. Yes, they did choke that lead, so they kind of had it coming. Our last question from Michael Ruby again. This one asks, is Dak Prescott blind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But only in one eye though. So
yeah,
he was only blind against the Bears. I think he was less blind against the Packers. It's so honestly,
it was only one eye. So
yeah. So maybe that's why the Cowboys do so well at home and don't do well on the road, is because they can, like, the sunlight from the Cowboys stadium like puts a bunch of sunlight in his blind eyes, so then it makes so he can see out of both of them.
Yeah, it's like a mirror basically. So like, like when sun shines in a mirror, it like reflects in your face. For Dak, it reflects into his eye and out of it, basically restoring the vision in his blind eye to a certain capacity. Yeah, it's just simple science, really.
Notice I said Tua in that sentence. I think Tua is blind in both eyes.
Not as blind as Geno Smith.
True. Speaking of Geno Smith, Alex, I believe you have our comment of the week.
We found Geno Smith's father. OG Pizza Man said, "I am Geno Smith, Dad. 100% biological."
As if that were.
We at Footballers Anonymous are happy to announce that this comment is the first time ever where Footballers Anonymous has followed someone, has subscribed to someone else's channel due to a comment of the week. So bravo, OG Pizza Man.
You mean Geno Smith's dad?
Yeah, Geno Smith's dad.
Bravo. We followed Geno Smith's dad. We subscribed to Geno Smith's dad on YouTube.
You guys should also just want you to know, OG Pizza Man has 1 subscriber. It's awesome.
It's Footballers Anonymous.
Guys, we're officially doing the first ever Footballers Anonymous channel raid. Everyone go follow OG_Pizza Man on YouTube. We're going to make this guy.
His account will be in the description.
His account will be linked in the description. Please go follow. A great guy. Geno Smith's father, 100% biological, not 50%, 100% biological. Just in case you forgot. With that, we're going to very quickly jump into the 2024 fan-voted Footballers Anonymous favorite segment, Carson's College Knowledge. There is so much to go. There's so much to go through. Because we missed 2 weeks of insane college football. Starting off with week 4, the week that we did miss. Number 22 Auburn lost to number 11 Oklahoma on the road, 24-17. Kind of embarrassing there. Number 17 Texas Tech absolutely destroyed number 16 Utah on the road, 34-10. You love to see that. Number 9 Illinois got smoked by 19 Indiana, 63-10. You love to see that. I trusted Ian on that pick and did not work. Sharing this game for no particular reason, just thought I would point out that BYU beat ECU on the road, 34-13, bringing them into ranked play. I did have family at that game. I did enjoy watching that game. No particular reason. Syracuse beat Clemson 34-31. Clemson is officially bums, like confirmed.
Yo.
Cade Klubnik, you disappointed me. You know who aren't bums though? Virginia Tech got their first win of the season at home against Wofford under coach Philip Montgomery, 34-10. And probably the only other game week 4 that was really worth noting, Florida lost on the road to number 4 Miami 26-7. Pretty uneventful week in college football, week 4 otherwise. But week 5, we have the week that people are genuinely saying may be the best week of college football we have ever had. Basically, every single game that was on was peak. You could go watch Maction, and it was incredible. So I'm going to give you just the lowdown of some of the best. On Friday Night Football, I loved watching this one. UVA beat number 8 FSU at home in 2 overtimes, 46-38, bringing UVA into ranked play. Yay. Number 24, TCU lost to ASU 27-24. Houston beat Oregon State on the road in overtime, 27-24. This was an incredible game. On Saturday, we had even more going on. Number 6 Oregon came into Happy Valley and beat number 3 Penn State during Penn State's whiteout game, which they're very famous for, in 2 overtimes, 30-24. I
actually watched this game.
It was a horrible Drew Aller interception at the very end.
Oh yeah,
it was absolutely
cinema. Actually, this is a question because I actually don't know. Why did Oregon go for 2?
In overtime?
Yeah.
Was this on
the second drive?
Okay, so
it didn't matter because Penn State's quarterback got intercepted. But
so how overtime works in college football? You start off, you each get 2 possessions. First team, they either have to get a touchdown or kick a field goal, and the other team either matches or gets the touchdown, in which case, if they match, you go to second overtime. Second overtime, you have to get a touchdown, and you cannot kick an extra point. You have to go for 2. And if both of you either score touchdowns with no 2 points, or score touchdowns with 2 points, or neither of you get touchdowns, you go to 3 overtimes, which then just becomes literally alternating 2-point conversions until one team can't match the other. So that's why they went for 2, because they had to. It was second overtime. Anyways, yeah. So that was an incredible game. Crazy upset. I knew a few people who were there, and it was a very, very electric atmosphere. Number 4 LSU actually lost to number 13 Ole Miss 24-19. The Ole Miss Magic was very strong this weekend, even in the NFL. We'll get to that later. Number 17 Bama beat number 5 Georgia on the road 24-21. Yeah, Bama's really trying to beat the fraud allegations, and you know what? It's kind of working. Number 16, Georgia Tech. We talked about this game earlier. Beat Wake Forest 30-29 in overtime. Probably some of the worst officiating I've ever seen since the Miami-Virginia Tech game. What? Georgia Tech is officially on fraud watch after this game. That was a historically slow start for them. Number 23, Illinois beat number 21 USC 34-22 or 32, coming on the up and up. Number 25 BYU beat Colorado 24-21 on a game-winning interception. They remain undefeated. UCLA lost to Northwestern 17-14. UCLA remains winless. Virginia Tech beat NC State on the road 23-21, making them undefeated under Philip Montgomery. Marshall lost to Louisiana 54-51 in 2 overtimes. This was an incredible, exciting game, very fun to watch. And our final piece of college news, maybe this is Alex's thing, but I kind of like the conspiracy thing. So I would like to inform you all that ODU is officially the best team in college football, and I can prove it. You think of some of the biggest college football teams out there, right? I'd say the biggest and probably most successful, you think of Georgia, right? You think of the Bulldogs. All right, well, you know who beat the Bulldogs this season? Alabama. So Alabama is clearly better than Georgia, right? Well, let's think about that. Who beat Bama this year? I don't know. Florida State. All right. Hey, Florida State. They're clearly better than Bama. They beat Bama. Let's see, who beat Florida State last week? Oh, yes, UVA.
Virginia.
Keep thinking about that. Yeah, Virginia. Okay. Virginia. They lost to someone this year. Who did they lose to? NC State. NC State. They just had a loss pretty recently. I wonder who that was to. Virginia Tech. Wow. Maybe Virginia Tech is the greatest team in college football. But no. Because you know who beat Virginia Tech? ODU. Which means, through the transitive property, ODU is better than Georgia and clearly the best team in college football.
Checks out.
For those of you who don't know math, it involves numbers. and logic. Just thought I'd be the first one to give you guys the scoop. But with that, thank you for joining me for an extended Carson's College Knowledge. Let's go ahead and talk about what you're all here for with some NFL news.
Oh, hablo Espanol. They call me the Bad Bunny, and I'll be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's right, guys. You heard it here first. Alex Josa is Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. This was revealed on
I do have a couple. I do have a couple friends that really like Bad Bunny and are excited by this. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I think it will be a good show. I'm curious. I mean, part of me it's a little like, man, I won't be able to understand the words, but also it can still be a banger. It can still be a banger.
I mean,
I'm not gonna be the kind of guy that writes it off just because it's in a different language. Like it'll be Bad Bunny is funny, and I think he can put on a good show. So I'm curious.
I have genuinely no attachment to that whatsoever.
Me neither.
I guess that's someone you could have picked.
And NFL news.
In real NFL news,
a copious amount of blocked kicks so far this season, including one from the Chicago Bears to win the game against the Raiders. Shout out Joshua Blackwell. It has been insane, just the raw amount of blocked kicks. And you got to be asking yourself, why is this happening? You know?
I mean,
why is it happening? It's kind of hard to say.
To be fair, what are you going to do when you're kicking against the greatest running back in the league, Jordan Davis? Like, shout out the Eagles for having blocked 3 kicks over the last 2 weeks. What?
It's been crazy for the season.
2 of which have been returned for touchdowns, by the way.
Someone had to have figured something out, like with regards to blocking kicks, because it is crazy how many block kicks.
Not just someone, like it's a league-wide virus right now.
That's nuts.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what's happening, but I think it's awesome, especially with the new rules how kickers can prepare, which really extends their range. I think, again, I have no idea why it's happening, but more of those kicks being blocked is a really good balance to their range being increased. Yeah. And I think it makes special teams infinitely more fun.
Entirely.
Oh yeah.
I just think it's awesome. It's so fun. I live with an Eagles fan, and we watched that Rams game together, and that ending was just incredible. Like absolute cinema. Couldn't have script written it better myself.
I mean, I would hate if it was against my team, but also at the same time, it is really fun just to watch. It's good for the league.
It's very. So you've got the GOAT Matt Prater. Like, he is the greatest kicker of all time.
It's true.
Other than Mitchell David Trubisky, who could kick anything, and it would be perfect.
That's also true. Mitchell David Trubisky almost held to our last game because our punter got steamrolled on a play.
Did he really?
Yeah. No, he punted the ball away, but one of the Saints players tried to block it, and then bro ran into his leg, and the dude, our punter, was pissed. He was hurting obviously, but that guy, he got so red, and he was crashing out.
Wow.
And then he came back a couple plays later and held when he's obviously injured, but he got his leg wrapped up and whatnot. He was like, I'm holding for this kick.
That's
and I made
crazy.
The kick. Prater did.
Speaking of kickers, Falcons legend Younghoe Koo was released after his historically bad performance against the Bucs and immediately picked up by the Giants. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought Younghoe Koo's hype was a little unnecessary, but I also thought he was good enough to not immediately drop after a few bad games, especially with how long kickers like Jake Moody have had jobs.
They still have jobs. But you know what? He immediately got picked up by the Giants, so it all works out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The Niners could have had Younghoe Koo, but instead they have Eddie Piñera.
The Commanders have had a rough couple weeks. Actually, really only last 1 week. Marcus Mariota has been their starter for the past 2 weeks, with Jaden Daniels being hurt. He actually played an incredible game against the Raiders week 3. Unfortunately, though, week 4, The Falcons did get the better of them, which, by the way, they're not in our top 12, so we can talk about them. What even are the Falcons, bro? Are they good?
I don't know what's going on there. It's so back and forth. I don't know how to feel anymore. I love this. I love this team. I love Bijan. I love Drake London. Drake London scored his first touchdown of the year this past week. I don't know, dude. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Hey, my fantasies. Bijan's been producing for my fantasy team, but he's been the only one producing. I don't know what to think about the Falcons. Okay, I don't. I don't anymore. I genuinely don't. I love them, but they're all over the place. I don't know what to think.
How do you play such good games against the Bucks and a great game against the Commanders and get shut out by the Panthers? Like, what is, I mean, September football, I guess, but like, what is this team, dude? They're weird. They're not in our top 12 right now. So I thought I would bring them up. But for Commanders fans, fear not. Jaden Daniels will be back week 5, and you'll probably need him. You will need him. We'll talk about that later, though.
One of the teams the Commanders played against was the Raiders, and not the game the Raiders and Commanders had, but the past game that the Raiders had against the Bears, they finally let Ashton Genty return to his classic stance against Chicago. Which, for those who don't know, it's the one where he just stands up completely still in the backfield.
That's not quite it, Carson.
No, sorry, this is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you're doing the wrong one.
So, Ashton Genty's stance is quite... Oh, Ian's got it down. Ian's got it to his science, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get a picture of this.
Ian's got that down to his science.
Pretty much.
It's funny because Ashton Genty, when he was allowed to return to his actual stance, had his best game of the season so far. Like, blown out the water.
He finally had his breakout game. Honestly, I expected it to come up against the horrendous Chicago Bears run defense. But honestly, he did a little bit more than I was expecting him to do. A little bit more than I liked. A little closer than I liked. But I am happy that he's finally stepping into his role of what is the Raiders' offensive line is just very, very piss poor. It's kind of sad.
So one thing I don't think a lot of people understand is most people think when Ashton Genty just does that, he's just aura farming, but
he's short. He needs to see
he's
the field.
Short. He's a really short. He's 5'9", I believe. He's 5'9". He's very short, and he just stands like straight up just to be able to see, so he can read the defense. For some reason, he wasn't allowed to do that until Pete Carroll was just like, you know what? Sure. You can do it. And when they asked Pete Carroll about it, he was like, oh, I just love it, man. It's great. Then why didn't you let him do it to begin? Pete Carroll's weird. The Raiders are weird. The Bears, thank goodness for them that Geno Smith, I'm so sorry to Geno Smith's dad who does watch this podcast, but shout out Geno Smith for being awful. So bad. Like, man, okay. Since we've been talking about takes that have aged terribly, shout out Alex and me for saying that Sam Darnold was a downgrade for the Seahawks. No.
Sam Darnold is definitely a better quarterback than Geno Smith.
Sam Darnold is definitely a better quarterback than Geno Smith. I understand. Yeah, Geno is just horrible. 3 interceptions throughout that game. Absolutely terrible. Speaking of Sam Darnold.
Carson.
Yes.
Carson. Wait, speaking of Sam Darnold, what were you about to say?
Speaking of Sam Darnold, he absolutely torched the Cardinals this last week on Thursday Night Football, where the Cardinals debuted their rivalry's jerseys, which looked incredibly clean, by the way, as well as their new rivalry field paint, also incredibly clean.
That was nice.
Those end zones, I kind of wish those were our normal end zones. I love those. Absolutely peak. Drew Petzing needs to be fired. I hate him so much. Why are you the way that you are? 6 points in the first half against, granted, a top 5 Seattle defense. But I mean, still, what are you doing? And then before that, having the divisional loss on a game-winning field goal by Eddie Pinheiro on the 49ers and losing James Conner for the whole season with a foot injury. But, everything's fine because we have Trey Benson. Oh, actually, Trey Benson is on IR now because he has a knee injury. He will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So, hey, if all of you are looking for a sleeper on fantasy, Mari DiMercato, Bam Knight, Michael Carter, 3 of them are going to be getting a lot of carries next few weeks.
As much as those injuries suck for Carson, I picked up Amari DiMercato last year when they were splitting a lot of reps between the 3 running backs, and it's paying off this year. I'm starting him in one of my matchups. He's my Bijan sub this week, so he better go off. He better go off, or Amari DiMercato if you're watching, or the Cardinals front office because we know you watch. If Amari DiMercato does not score me at least 15 fantasy points, at least 10 to 15 fantasy points, you will never see Carson again.
You'll never see me again if Drew Petzing isn't fired by next week.
Yeah.
So
2 scenarios in which Carson may or may not die.
we'll never know. And the only other thing that I feel like
we will know very quickly, actually, very, very quickly.
For the record, if one of those things isn't happening, we're totally just starting next episode without me on, right?
Oh, no, you're dying. You're actually dying.
Bro will be gone.
The only other thing to talk about is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't really want to talk about him. Who is this guy, bro? I guess he remembered he was the 4th overall pick in the 4th quarter against the Seahawks, which was really great.
Oh, it all makes sense now. Because he was picked 4th, he performs in the 4th.
Oh.
Duh. That's right there.
There you go.
Which, let me tell you, was so helpful after he literally lagged on a route that led to an interception. He probably would have been an interception anyways, but Marv didn't even try to catch it. Because he straight up lagged. He literally lagged, bro. Like, he was running for the ball and then just stopped. And then on a very, very easy, nice little throw to Marv, handed the ball to the Seahawks, missed so many other routes disgustingly, and basically single-handedly sold the game. Not single-handedly, there were a lot of issues, but we would have won that game if he had locked in. And then he decided to lock in just so we could lose on another game-winning field goal. Shout out Chad Ryland for not being able to kick off in the freaking landing zone because those rules suck. It's not a fun time to be a Cardinals fan, but it's also not a fun time to be a 49ers fan.
It is not. Nick Bosa tore his ACL, and he is out for the season. And on top of that, Brock Purdy returned week 4, and he's out again with turf toe.
I don't know if it's the same one.
Rick Pearsall is also ruled out for week 5.
Bro, absolutely crazy work. Mac Jones, man. Thursday Night Football against the Rams. That's going to be, that's going to be a game.
It is going to be a game.
In
more injury news, because there's more. CeeDee Lamb suffered a high ankle sprain week 3 against the Chicago Bears. Did not play week 4 against the Green Bay Packers, and will most likely miss this week as well. So, yeah, a lot of fantasy teams are crying right now. A lot of fantasy drafts in which he went number 1 overall for some reason, or even if not number 1, he was top 5 in a lot of leagues. So, yeah. I'm trying to trade for Pickens in the league that I care about, if anyone cares. The guy said he's going to hold on to him. He told me everyone on his team was available, right? So I made him an offer for George Pickens. And then guess what happened? He's like, I'm going to hold on to him. Your team's in full rebuild, but you want... Never mind. Anyway, continue on. He put up like 90 points. George Pickens was a third of your points last week. Your team is garbage. Take the fantasy picks. Whatever. Anyway.
Anyways.
You're this guy not taking George Pickens. Wait, do you know this dude's name?
Yeah, wait, what's this guy's name?
Oh, the guy that I'm trying to get George Pickens from?
Yeah, this dude needs to lock in.
Yeah, bro needs to lock in, bro.
Actually, I don't know his name.
Right.
You're saying that he's anonymous?
No, he's not anonymous. He's in the fan. Never mind. My dad probably knows.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. We'll call him Bart. Because Bart, you need to lock in.
Bart,
go get some women.
Bro, lock in. Just go. Talk to people.
6'7".
6'7".
Give me George Pickens.
Give Ian George Pickens. Go outside. Go on a date. I guarantee your life will be better, Bart.
If you can. But you should really try.
But you won't be able to unless you trade our friend Ian George Pickens.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the first overall pick in the No Huzz draft, Football is Anonymous selects Bart out of I Won't Trade for George Pickens University.
Hey,
Dude,
amen.
I need George Pickens on my team right now.
Yeah.
No, I don't. My team is so good. But I low-key want to bench Lad McConkey. This isn't a fantasy podcast.
Yes. Moving on. The injury
if you want a
demon.
fantasy football segment, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. We will talk about it. Speaking of injuries, Malik Neighbors out for the season.
Shout out MetLife. He tore his ACL. Crazy part about it, it's strikingly similar to another Giants wide receiver at MetLife, injured in an ACL in the 4th week of his season, playing against the Chargers. And the quarterback was an Ole Miss quarterback. Now, 2 questions are probably rising from that. One, who was the other receiver? Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah. Crazy, right? And the other one, who was that quarterback? Well, Russell Wilson didn't go to Ole Miss. It could have been him. Jameis Winston didn't go to Ole Miss either. So who's this Giants starter? For those of you who missed it last week, Jackson Dart was named the Giants starter against the Chargers, and he came out absolutely bald. Anakin is dead, or whatever they say. And Jackson Dart is what remains. And he handed the Chargers their first loss of the season, while also giving the Giants their first win of the season.
There's a nice little reference there.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro, absolutely bald. It did cost them Malik Neighbors, but they did beat the Chargers. Wow. Very unexpectedly. I mean, shout out to Jackson Dart, I guess.
We got a big list of injuries on the Ravens front. We got a big list of injuries on the Ravens front.
What's going on, guys? It's Charlie, the Ravensaholic, and I'm here to take over the podcast for a second and talk about the Ravens injury report coming up to Week 5. It's a lot, so buckle in, because here we go. So, defensive end Brent Urban, he's questionable with a finger injury. Center Tyler Linderbaum is questionable with a calf injury. Offensive tackle Emory Jones Jr. is out with a shoulder injury. Wide receiver Devontae Walker is questionable with an oblique injury. Nate Wiggins hurt his elbow and he's questionable. Robert Longerbeam, he's on injured reserve. Yesterday, it was announced that Kyle Hamilton is now questionable, I guess. Sure. Dayton Wade, he's on IR. Adisa Isaac, he's on IR. Ardarius Washington, he's physically unable to perform. That's great. Bilhal Coen is on IR, and so is Broderick Washington. Doubtful for this week, he's probably not going to play, is Lamar Jackson. So that's great. If 1-3 didn't sound great, now it's 1-4 against the Texans, I guess. Roquan Smith is also probably not going to play. And neither is Marlon Humphrey. Okay. Chidobe Awuzie is questionable. He has a hamstring injury. Ronnie Stanley is also questionable. So we just don't have any offensive linemen. So Cooper Rush is going to get sacked every play next week. That's great. Kyle Van Noy, he's questionable. Patrick Ricard is probably not going to play. Nnamdi Metabike is done for the season. That's great. And Travis Jones is also questionable. That's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 21 players. Come on. Really? Out of the 53-man roster, there's 21 injured players? What are we doing? Really? That's... I love being a Ravens fan. It's so much fun.
It is a deep, deep list. I mean, Baltimore is, I don't know.
Imagine
what.
Picture San Fran from last year. But for Baltimore, and I think a little bit worse now.
I would say worse.
At this point in time, probably.
Yeah, I would say worse. This is horrible for the team. They don't have the schedule to sustain these injuries. It's a brutal schedule in a Division 2 where it's unironically being run by the Aaron Rodgers Steelers. Wow. This is bad. Shout out our two MVP candidates, Josh Allen and Daniel Jones, that was manifested on the podcast, and it will remain. Unfortunately, Lamar's MVP run's probably over just because he's missing time.
If he misses time.
When he misses
he's at least missing next game.
He is missing next game.
Likely, yes.
He hasn't practiced all week. It's probably going to be 2 to 3 before he's back. But yeah, this is really, really bad for the Ravens, especially when even with their complete roster, they have not been playing very good football.
I mean, here's what I'll say. Hopefully, not hopefully, but if Lamar wants to take a 3-week break and just relax for 3 weeks, I don't think anyone would be mad about that. I mean, he plays the Texans, the Rams, and the Bears, so maybe he just wants to take 3 weeks off, maybe not play. Specifically in that third game, if he wants to rush back in that second game, maybe re-aggravate it, take an extra week off. I don't think anyone would really mind. For no reason in particular, just I don't know. I don't think I'd be opposed now, would we?
It'd be really fun, if the Bears and Ravens both agreed to just let Caleb Williams and Lamar Jackson just have the week off and just see what happens.
Oh no! I mean, at that point, if we're going backup for backup, Tyson Bagent wins. I think probably 30 out of 32 times.
Just to give you guys,
who is the backup?
Bears? Oh, Ravens.
The Bears. Tyson Bagent.
Cooper Rush.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah,
just to give you guys a rundown of what this division looks like, we've got the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, the Ravens and Cooper Rush, the Bengals and Jake Browning, and the Browns and Dylan Gabriel.
What?
Who's their new starter? That's right, guys. It's literally just for the record, I manifested this. I said Joe Flacco would play for 4 weeks. And then they'd put in Gabriel.
You know my honest opinion about that? Dylan Gabriel being named the starter?
What?
No one's going to understand this if they're just listening.
For those of you who don't know math, Ian is currently doing what Shedeur Sanders did when asked about this and did not verbally say anything, but he just said everything without saying it.
You know what's funny about that video too? When I saw it for the first time, I kept checking my volume. I thought my audio was bugged. And I was like, why isn't there no sound? Shedeur being legendary. So
I'm not gonna lie, low-key's such an immature move by Shedeur, but all right, bro.
Fine.
Funny for the memes.
It's hilarious for the memes.
A couple other things. The Texans released C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Okay, I guess. I don't know why.
Issues.
Yeah, locker room issues. But also, the Texans have a ton of those.
Yeah.
So
hey, I don't know if you paid attention. I don't know if you paid attention, but after that Titans game, C.J. Stroud went over to Cam Ward and said absolutely nothing to that rookie. He's learning from his mistakes that we covered in depth last year, particularly his interactions with the rookies like Caleb Williams. He has learned to not share his advice when he's not that good.
Caleb Williams has a better record than C.J. Stroud this season.
And he's just a better quarterback, if we're being honest.
I actually might. At this point in time, yeah, I kind of agree.
Statistically speaking, since that moment, Caleb is the better quarterback. Just looking at the statistics at a base. But
it's great because the Bears were so much worse of a team than the Texans last year.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, this is odd.
The Bears were massively off the line and everything. The Williams still had the better stats. Also, in the Dolphins-Jets game between two 0-3 teams, that was a mess. The Dolphins got their first win of the season, but it came at the cost of Tyreek Hill being out for the season after having a dislocated knee that ended up tearing multiple of his ligaments. It was a ridiculous sight. It was
gross. It was all smiles, though.
He knows that he's never playing football again. He knows he
knows that he's not catching a pass from Tua again.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, there's a chance he mild chance he comes back.
There's a chance he gets in
I don't-
rehab and comes back.
Dolphins. If he comes back, it's not gonna be for the Dolphins. With that being said, he was actually, after that happened, he was
All
smiling
smiles.
on his way out of
He
the
does not
stadium,
stop.
smiling in the ambulance, smiling in the hospital bed. Like, okay.
Same guy who said Tua was better than Mahomes, by the way.
Yeah, same guy. Wow, Tyreek. I mean, you go, man. Shout out 2 0-3 teams for sacrificing their star receivers' legs for their first win with the Giants and the Dolphins. Some voodoo magic going on with the injury demon this week. All right, and now before we get to the climax of our episode, we got to hit that ad read.
Motivations with Will Levis.
Merch motivations with Footballers Anonymous.
May your Sunday tailgate be decked out in fresh gear from Footballers Anonymous -shop.fourthwall.com. And may your Cardinals somehow find the end zone more often than sadness finds me. Num num.
May your wallet be light, but your closet be heavy with Bill's blue hoodies. And may your table of wings be as spicy as Josh Allen is icy. Impressive.
May your merch be soft, your t-shirts comfy, and your quarterback mysterious. Just like our GOAT, Mitchell David Trubisky, the man, the myth, the 6'7" legend. Dreamy.
May your game day drip be as clean as our store designs are mean. And may your Cards hat cover the shame of another NFC loss. Ouch, but true.
May your power rankings be ignored like Pete Prisco's. And may your buffalo chicken dip taste better when eaten in a Footballers Anonymous hoodie. Delicious.
May your Sundays be filled with Bears delusions, and may your game face be as vicious as our limited edition mugs are. Delicious. Merch.
May your Will Levis mayo jar never run empty, and may your merch cart always stay full. May your game day be glorious. Your podcast be victorious. And may your shopping fingers move swiftly to Footballers Anonymous .fourthwall.com.
Because friends don't let friends go merchless.
And Mitchell David Trubisky doesn't let legends die.
Merch motivations complete.
And just so everyone's clear, this ad was not written by AI. Stop reading that. Remember, we wrote this with our own hands, with our own brains, and probably too much Mayo inspiration.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached the climax of our Footballers Anonymous show, the Footballers Anonymous Power Rankings. For those of you who don't know for those of you who are new here, every week we each individually rank all of the teams in the NFL, all 32, from worst to best, 32 being the worst, 1 being the best. And then we use this thing called math. For those of you who don't know how math works, it's something with numbers. And we use those numbers to create an average score for each team based on where we put them, making one conclusive power rankings list for all 3 of us. Now, unfortunately, because sometimes 2 teams get the same score, in which case, if that happens, we will either bring them on the pod if they're in an important position, or if they're not in an important decision, discuss them off the pod and vote to decide which one takes the higher spot. This week, we have 2 ties, and both of them will be discussed on the pod. And so, while I know everyone wants to hear about the coveted Footballers Anonymous top 12 teams, we first gotta talk about some baddies. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about our bottom 3 teams in the power rankings, coming in at 30, 31, and 32. These are the baddies, the worst of the worst. But none of them is quite as bad as number 32, the ultra baddie. But first,
Oh, yeah.
our first baddie. We actually have a tie. Our first 2 baddies. We have the New Orleans Saints and a historic slide for the Cincinnati Bengals, coming in at a tie, fighting for the 30 spot, but both of them committed to being baddies. Let's talk about both these teams. Alex, how did the Saints play this week?
Surprisingly well. Not to a point where I was ever worried that we were going to lose the game, but I was definitely impressed with particularly their offense. Actually, both sides of the ball. Their defense played their defense got our offense in a little bit of a funk for a little bit, but part of that was also our play going and just general struggles rather than them. The offense moved the ball though. It was mostly the rushing attack because they could not throw the ball very well, but they could definitely run, and we were terrible against the run. We allowed 2 50-plus yard rushers and one at like 49 yards. I think Rattler at like 49. That's pretty bad. But Saints played well. Definitely deserving of not being the ultra baddie anymore.
But then we got the Bengals, dude. And let me just tell you, if it's not apparent that Joe Burrow was the single thing running this offense, then I don't know what is. Because without Joe Burrow, this team doesn't do anything.
No.
I think it's fair to say that on almost any other team, Joe Burrow is a Super Bowl contender. I think you put Joe Burrow, and again, this is no hate to my lovely, lovely quarterback, JJ McCarthy. You put Joe Burrow on that team, Super Bowl contender, easily. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say at all. But without him, this Cincinnati Bengals offense can do nothing. And I'm not saying it's all Jake Browning's fault, because I don't know if you've seen any of those clips of the blocking he's been getting. It is ridiculously bad. Like, insanely bad blocking. I think the three of us could block better than his entire offensive line. It's
don't
so
even 5 people,
bad.
just the 3 of us.
Literally just the 3 of us. I mean, there will be 5 of them, and they will gang up on 2 linebackers and just let the others come past. It is ridiculous. And then Browning suddenly got 4 people coming at him. Like, it's absurd. Honestly, I'm giving the Saints my vote for spot number 30, because at least Spencer Rattler can kind of move that offense, and that defense is somewhat serviceable. Without Joe Burrow, and it doesn't look like he's going to be back until December. So I think Cincinnati's season is basically over until they can fix their line and get someone more serviceable than Browning. I put the Saints at 30.
The only reason the Bengals would be voted upon higher than the Saints is because they have 2 wins, but both those games had Burrow. That Jaguars game is really carrying them right now, and I don't think it's enough. I'm still also going to vote the Saints above, just because they are so bad. They've been outscored. Was it like
I can do
70 something to 13?
I can do that. Oh, it's a lot more than that. Let me see. Over the last 2 weeks, it was.
I think it's 69 and 13 off the top of my head, but that could be wrong. Or like 69 to 14.
74 to 13.
74.
They've been outscored 74 to 13 in their last 2 games.
Now, the only reason why I'm putting the Bengals above the Saints in this scenario is because, while yes, they have had 2 very poor offensive games, they have been against 2 very good defenses. So I don't think Jake Browning has a full chance to step into his new starting role. And I just don't have faith in the Saints at all, even after a somewhat promising game against Buffalo.
I mean, this is valid. I will say, Jake Browning's next 2 opponents are the Lions and the Packers. So yeah, it's going to be rough for him.
I completely agree that their season is completely cooked. In fact, I don't think they'll win a game without Burrow, but I don't think the Saints will win a game at all. So Burrow is just keeping that up for me.
All right, so the Bengals do take the lower spot because Alex and I both voted for them. But regardless, we can all pretty unanimously agree that no team is worse than our ultra baddie for coming into Week 5, the Tennessee Titans.
Can I take the time here to talk about what y'all thought of the Titans before the season started?
I don't recall.
Calling them possible division winners.
Okay, well, that's just because the entire division is kind of trash.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it was at the time. Now the Colts are solid.
Yeah.
But
all of us were down on the Colts. All of us were down on the Texans.
I agree with that.
And it was between the Jags and the Titans for the division.
Yeah. I wasn't. I mean, the Texans are playing really bad, but I was kind of middling with them, not down on them. Like, y'all were a little more down than me, but also, yeah, the Jags were definitely my pick to win the division.
I just think our preseason.
I didn't think the Titans had a chance. Y'all were definitely pulling a lot of the weight there.
Listen,
I kind of pinned the Titans like 5 or 6 wins. I don't even think they'll get that. It's looking rough, but we'll have to see.
What I'll say about the Titans.
Your preseason prediction was very, very very valid in its own right.
What I'll say about the Titans is, first off, Cam Ward is so interesting, mostly in the fact that no one is paying attention to him. Literally no one. I don't even think we've talked about Cam Ward very much on the pod, if not at all, since those preseason predictions, which, by the way, we never did part 2. So you'll probably just get our mid-season picks at mid-season, or maybe a quarterly picks. I guess it is quarter. I don't know. We'll figure something out for you guys. But you should go watch that still if you haven't already, because we really break down all 32 teams in that video and our early thoughts on them. So it's still a really good watch.
Quarter, more like... Wait, no, that's not what I meant to say. Never mind, continue.
But anyways... Cam Ward, he is probably the only part of that team that looks promising. You can tell that Cam Ward is doing literally everything he possibly can with literally nobody helping him.
Tony Pollard.
Okay, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard.
It's the two of them. I'd
argue Io Manor is also playing a decent part. He is their leader in reception yards currently.
Leading receiver. For reference, the Titans' leading receiver is 83rd in receiving yards in the NFL. So.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it is bad.
They have no one.
It is bad. And honestly,
don't they have Calvin Ridley?
Yeah.
What happened, bro?
And Tyler Lockett. They're both just not existing right now.
They are just not exist, and that's kind of why we felt so I'm sorry, I lied. He's not 83rd. He's 83rd in average yards. He's 66th. Okay. 66th. Tied for 66th. Calvin Ridley is tied for 73rd. So, sorry. Big difference there. Bro has no one. The situation is bad in Tennessee, but Cam Ward his whole college story is about him building up from nothing. That's what he's gonna do in Tennessee. Brighter days are ahead, but it might be a rough year, Tennessee. You might see yourself here a lot. But let's stop talking about bad teams and let's go ahead and get into the good with our top 12. Honorable mention, I feel like it's worth mentioning. Number 13, just barely missing our top 12. We do have the Steelers, who have looked actually really good under Aaron Rodgers. They looked really good overseas. Aaron Rodgers is doing a good job leading that unit, surprisingly. But they did not make our top 12. In our top 12, starting off at our number 12 spot, we have the Denver Broncos, who finally got a win.
They did. I mean, okay, the Broncos are 2-2 right now, but we do have to consider the fact that they are a penalty on a kick, a game-winning kick. And they're also very close in the Chargers game. Like, they're quite close to 4 now. Obviously, you still have to win the game, so why they're 12 and not like 1 or 2 or 3. And their offense has also been a little bit sluggish to start the season, but it's been picking up slowly. They have a big test against the Eagles.
The Bover throws are getting bad, bro.
Yeah.
The Bover throws are real. Like,
yeah.
This offense could be electric if Bo Nix did not if Bo Nix would just hit his guys. But the Bover throws are real.
I don't think hitting his teammates is the correct option. I think physical violence is not the answer. I think it'd be better if you just put the ball where they could catch it.
Works for Jim Harbaugh.
And use words of encouragement such as "You're doing great. Catch the ball with your hands." Stuff like that. Physical violence is not the answer, Carson.
Unless Amari DeMarcado does not score 10 to 15 fantasy points, in which case violence is the option against me.
It's true. Also, it's also totally valid if your name is on the following list: Tyreek Hill, Quinshon Judkins, and a bunch of others.
A bunch of others. Yeah. So this team falls short. Barely in the top 12. Bo Nix just has some things to clean up, but they're still a pretty good squad. Coming in at number 11, we have the division opponents of the Denver Broncos. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, who appear to be on the up and up.
Yeah, fun fact. Before we continue, according to the NFL itself, Patrick Mahomes threw for 270 passing touchdowns against the Ravens, on top of an additional 4 passing touchdowns. and here is he was clip farming too. He had a 6-7 completion percentage. He had 270 passing touchdowns.
Wait, they actually posted that.
And an additional 4 passing touchdowns.
Is that still up? That's still up.
Yeah,
It's still up.
Right there, guys. It's been up for
I assume
13 hours.
He posted he got his 270th.
You know what's crazy is that it popped up in my feed. Like the stores are up here. It popped up right in my feed. Like as you said that, I opened Instagram. That's what pops up. So Instagram watches Footballers Anonymous.
Instagram as an organization watches Footballers Anonymous. Confirmed. Wow.
And no, it's not. It's not 270 career touchdowns. He had 270 yards in the game. But they said it was passing touchdowns. So.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. In fact, he had
my passing touchdowns. I might have put him at like 3.
Listen, he had more passing touchdowns in that game than he has in his entire career. in that one game, he had 274. In his career, he has 252.
That is absurd.
Well, in his career previous to that game against the Ravens.
He more than doubled his passing touchdowns in that game. They play the Jaguars on Monday night. Maybe he'll throw for 300 passing touchdowns.
Now, here's a guy who really can just pass for 274 touchdowns in one game, which is, wow. Patrick Mahomes, am I right? Oh, wow. Moving on.
Thank you.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know if he can hit that many against the Jaguars.
Wow. Moving on to our next spot. We actually, have a tie between the Seattle Seahawks and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I literally called it earlier.
Yeah, so we got a tie for 9th and 10th place by the Jags and the Seahawks. I wonder why this was decided.
Off rip, I'm taking the Seahawks. I looked at power rankings today, and I was frankly shocked by how high the Jaguars were, specifically from you two. I didn't know they were 3-1. If I'm being honest with you, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Zero ball knowledge,
but they have not been they're not good wins though.
That was a good 49ers game. That was a good
49ers game. Sure, they played decent against the Bengals, who have a horrible defense. They put up 27, still lost the game. That was Burrow. They beat the Panthers, who we don't know if that's impressive or not yet. And they beat the Texans, which to me is not impressive. Yes, against an injured 49ers with Mac Jones at quarterback. No.
Brock Purdy came back for one game.
He was playing.
He was playing the entire game.
He was playing the entire game.
Oh, well, still.
And he passed for over 300 yards. So.
Yeah, I don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars hype that you guys do.
Here's what I'll say, and Carson, make your pick first.
Okay.
Also, the Seahawks are just a better team. I forgot we were comparing them to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are just genuinely a better team.
I can understand putting this is here because I put the Seahawks a lot lower than these guys, and I kind of questioned that decision. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm okay with the Seahawks being over top. But as far as the Jags being this high, I still think it's entirely valid. Watching their games, they have looked incredible. Despite Trevor Lawrence still seeming mid and Brian Thomas being okay, the run game is incredible. Travis Etienne absolutely cooking. My GOAT, Bashaw Tootin, he's doing good. He's getting tutties. Love to see it. He's doing great. But also the Jags defense.
Can I start him in fantasy?
No, I wouldn't start him in fantasy. Well,
I am starting Brennan Strange this week though, so hoping Brennan Strange.
He is getting carries. He's getting carries every week. They're mostly putting him in the red zone, so he's getting touchdowns. But as far as total yards, he's not getting very many yards because they're not putting him in for most of the game. but for some reason in the red zone, it's really like this game, he had, let me find it. Yeah, he only had 14 yards this game. Didn't do very much. But overall in the season, he and Travis Etienne have done really well. Really, Travis Etienne is like playing surprisingly good football. Brian Thomas does look better. But yeah, it's actually the defense for Jacksonville. That is my main thing for them. Now, Seattle's defense is better than Jacksonville. So again, I'm very okay with Seattle being above this team, and I may have fumbled there in my power rankings a little bit. I'm not going to pretend I didn't, but Jacksonville is looking really, really good. And short of a short of a Colts somewhat inevitable, but also maybe not inevitable collapse, they could be seeing some playoff action.
I did want to throw out that the Jaguars wins overall have been relatively good. I think the Niners win was a very impressive game on their part. They played very well in that game overall. The 49ers start clawing into it a little bit. I guess the only complaint I have is that the Jaguars didn't put their foot down at the end of the game. But like, I mean, they did. It just took them too long. But honestly, even like the Jaguars offense, even with Lawrence and all that, besides the Brian Thomas stuff, that as well, they've looked pretty solid. I mean, I know we're talking about like they didn't do particularly great necessarily against the Texans, but they did pretty solid against the Texans, considering how the Texans defense it has been playing and how good that defense is. I mean, they moved the ball decently effective. They had 300 offensive yards, 17 first downs, and they were moving pretty efficiently. They were terrible on third down. That's why they didn't have as many points. But like they moved the ball pretty efficiently. And in general, I think the Bengals game, I'm gonna be honest, I think the Jags should have won that game. I still kind of stand by that pass interference call being bad, but whatever. Mm-hmm. The one at the end of the game that got the Bengals into the red zone to set. They could be 4-0 right now. I get that the schedule is not necessarily the hardest thing in the world, but they definitely deserve top 10. And I think the Panthers game was weird, but also, like, the Panthers are weird. I get that, but, I mean, it was week 1. You kind of don't know what to expect. They played very well, especially defensively. So that's a strong point in their team. It's greatly improved from last year. Also, Liam Coen and Robert Saleh had a bit of a scuffle.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, that was rough. Some big accusations about sign stealing, stupid stuff like that.
Threats on lives.
So I actually looked into this a little bit. From what I could tell, the Jags are using a method to do it legally. That may have to be looked into, like, by the NFL's committee. But, like, it's currently a legal way to go about this quote-unquote sign stealing, because it's not necessarily sign stealing by the book, which is why they're kind of doing it. I forgot like the exact nuances of the method they're using, and I might clarify just so I don't spread.
We don't know too much about what it is. People have speculated. A lot of people have just said wrong things. There's something going on. We don't entirely get, but the point being they may have some sort of weird competitive advantage that may or may not be investigated. But for now, I think they're still worthy of being a top 10 team. And while I'm okay with I don't think we need to talk about Seattle. We've talked about them plenty at the beginning of the episode.
It's an advanced. It's not even that's a poor choice of words, sign stealing. Apparently it's something that all of the Sean McVay coaching staff tree kind of does. It's just a way of advanced way of identifying the defensive formations using their how they communicate on the field. It's crazy. I don't know too much about it because obviously I'm not an offensive coordinator, but that's Saleh said after the game that he used a poor choice of words and that he was trying to give a compliment to their offense and whatnot. But yeah.
Coming in at I'm very okay with Seattle taking the 9 spot and Jacksonville taking 10. Congrats on top 10. Coming in at number 8, we have a team that had a weird game this week. We had the Green Bay Packers. Who would have suspected? This
1 second. You can keep talking.
Who would have suspected that the Micah Parsons game would end in a freaking tie, bro?
On top of that, too, Alex made a great comment on one of the NFL posts of just that's all type of game. I would like to highlight Micah Parsons getting an ear sack because he could not get a sack all game. He also wasn't on the field a lot of the time.
Yeah.
There's one moment where it was a bit of an injury problem. I believe he went into the blue tent and then came out, got his helmet, and went back playing. He was not on the field as much as he should have been. But late in the game, I don't think it was it wasn't overtime. Dak scrambled out left, and Micah Parsons tackled him beyond the line of scrimmage. It probably should have been like a yard or two gain, but they wrote it down as a 0-yard sack. So, yeah, that was Micah Parsons' revenge game. Hey, here, 0-yard sack.
For those of you who are listening to the podcast, Alex has brought out the infamous tie. It is officially back because we have a tie, a real tie, not just a power rankings tie.
I had to. What I'll say about the Packers, they need to clean up some defensive mishaps that they're having.
They need to clean up some offense too. Jordan Love is so lucky with how he ended that game. He's so lucky that they had that 1 second left on the clock with that disaster at the end of overtime. That was some of the worst. That low key, like I think just being in the same building as Matt Eberflus rubbed off on them, and they it was horrible clock management. They got incredibly lucky that they had 1 second left after Jordan Love zipped that ball right out of the end zone to kick a field goal. And I mean, well, that's all, folks.
This is going to be officially the first of 2 ties this season because we still have yet to come across the tie of doom and despair that'll happen in Kansas City between the Colts and the Chiefs.
I forgot about that. What week is that?
Yeah, ridiculous.
So the tie of doom and despair, week 12. That will be game of the week, no matter how bad the matchup ends up looking, just because of tie of doom and despair. But with that, we can move on to number 7. We talked about this team's loss a little bit. We can briefly talk about them. It is the Los Angeles Chargers, who, wow, after starting 3-0 with division wins, to lose to Jackson Dart in his first ever NFL start and lose Joe Alt in the process. That's yikes.
It's conspiracy time. I have 2 this week. That's how good we're getting. It's going to be for team number 7 and team number, I'm guessing 6. I'm guessing the number 6.
6, 7.
You guessed correct.
6-7 conspiracy. The first at position number 7, the Chargers. They thus far have yet to win a single game outside of the division. Therefore, by logical conclusion, they will finish the season 6-11 with only division wins.
What?
That's the short conspiracy.
Okay, very, very interesting. The Chargers just had a bit of a weird game. Herbie threw some not great interceptions. I'm not gonna lie, this was confusing. I'm boiling this down to September football, but also we may need to take a look at the Chargers. I'm sure they'll bounce back, no problem. But yeah, this I just boiled this down to a weird game. Also, Najee Harris is out for the season with a torn Achilles. So Omarion Hampton fantasy owners, have fun.
That's
also,
me guys. But I'll tell you what, I'm also a Lad McConkey fantasy manager. Not having fun there. But on the other hand, I'm also a Quentin Johnston fantasy manager in another league. So having fun there. Fantasy's weird, guys. I'm in 3 different leagues. I have 3 very different teams. Only one of them is good right now.
Coming in at number 6, we have, coming off their first loss of the season, but still pretty strong, the Indianapolis Colts.
Those who have watched every game, not every game, sorry. Those who have watched every Indiana Jones movie, they know the first 3 Indiana Jones movies were very good movies. Classics. Absolute cinema, I might add. The 4th movie, not so much. The 5th movie, not so much. No. So, Raiders are beating the Colts this week. Now, whatever happens after that, the Colts might continue being a really good team. They might continue being a bad team, but just based off the trends, conspiracies, Colts, not going to be your week. I had to do 2 conspiracies this week. Because
I will say, though, Geno Smith could throw 4 interceptions.
See, but what would be funny is if Geno threw 4 interceptions and then the Raiders still won.
That would be
because Jones also throws 4 interceptions.
Yeah. The Colts, Daniel Jones.
Oh, it wasn't even Daniel Jones fully. Like, he did not have a good game. But let's talk about Adonai Mitchell. My guy. Not only did you do the rule number 1 not to do thing and fumble it out the back of the end zone at the 1 by dropping the ball early and celebrating too early. You cost your team a touchdown for doing that. Not only did you do that, you also fumbled the ball.
Literally. Yeah, very
The
Very,
Colts
very.
win this game if they don't have a Donnie Mitchell on their team.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say
Yeah.
if he doesn't do that, then yes, they win. I think that touchdown would have it would have been the decider. I think they definitely. I think they should have won this game.
Yeah. And I'll even give them credit. Incredible play. Highlight worthy. And they dropped out the back of the end zone and completely ruined it.
Hey, just wanna shout out real quick. Let me back on fantasy football real quick. I would just like to give a
If you
shout
guys
out.
want a fantasy segment, please comment because
Honestly,
clearly we want to talk about it.
we should introduce a fantasy segment because I have a lot to talk about. I just want to shout out early before the season started in the league that I have by Tootin. Someone tried to trade me a Donnie Mitchell for Tootin straight up.
Wow.
And I rejected the trade and said that I like Tootin more.
This
And
guy
it's come
has
full
ball
circle.
knowledge. This
It's
guy
come full circle.
knows. You know who hasn't fumbled his touchdowns? Dootin, because he's goated.
Sure.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Colts, but they stay pretty high up because other than that play, they should have won the game. So they stay pretty high, but not as high as our number 5 team, who kind of bullied a pretty mid team this year or this week. The Detroit Lions, who are continually proving me wrong. And I will continually say that they will not succeed this year. But the Lions look good. They look like a full, complete team. Shout out Sam Laporta in 2 of my fantasy leagues for absolutely going off. And shout out for David Montgomery on Monday Night Football against the Ravens for somehow, keep in mind, I'm ahead of this guy by 32 points, and the only guy he has is David Montgomery. I freaking lost, dude. Thank you for that.
Barely won my matchup. I barely won my match because, oh my God. Dude, okay. We need to start a fantasy segment next week.
We need to not go past an hour 30 before we add a new segment.
Dude, David Montgomery and Lad McConkey combined for 3.1 points in my fantasy league. I nearly lost my matchup because of them. I ended up winning by 20 anyway because the rest of my team is so good. But Lad and David, David, how does your team score that 40 points and you have one? You what?
Moving on
Because-
to our number 4
Because Gibbs was all like, Gibbs me the ball.
Oh, no, that was a good one.
Moving on to our number 4 team, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who kind of played against the Eagles. They came back, but it was not enough. They were unfortunately not the Eagles' Achilles heel this week.
It was close, but I don't know.
I don't have much to say about the Bucs. I still think that they are a Super Bowl contending team. I'm horrified of when all 3 of their receivers are healthy. That is going to be absolutely horrifying. Mike Evans is, of course, out with a hamstring injury for the next few weeks. But man, once he, Godwin, and Egbuka are all on that field, I mean, we're cooked. Like, we're just cooked, dude.
It's one game against the Eagles. They had their blunders. Mayfield threw a pick late in the game that, killed a lot of momentum while they were driving. Sucks to see. I still think Mayfield can and has a good case for MVP. I think he will still go up and have an MVP caliber season. I agree with Carson that Emeka Egbuka is right now the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I think as a whole the Buccaneers are just still a great team. I don't feel bad about this loss at all. Apart from those few mistakes, I still feel great about the Buccaneers.
Oh, me too. And they were starting to get some stuff going. Baker just turned the ball over right at when they had all the momentum. I think if they scored the touchdown, then they win the game. It's tough. It's a very good Eagles team though, and our next team also kind of suffered the same fate with a close loss against Philadelphia. Those 2 teams are very similar in regard.
Yeah, our next team, of course, being the LA Rams, who barely beat the Colts. We talked a lot about their game, but Matthew Stafford's clone is getting it done. I do own Matthew Stafford's clone in fantasy. Thought I would say that. And it is listed as Matthew Stafford 7.2 because that's the model currently on. But the Rams, they're a complete offense. Puka Nacua, still that guy. They look incredible. Devontae Adams, also incredible. Matt Stafford is getting it done. Trent Williams is getting it done. And the pass rush, Jared Verse, such a complete team, dude. there's so many teams nipping at the Eagles' heels. Like the NFC is really good. I saw something. I mean, Ian sent us something today, an NFL power rankings things where it said 6 out of 7 of the top 7 teams in the NFL's power rankings this week were NFC teams, which is crazy, but also not wrong necessarily.
Yeah, I have to think about this. The Bucks, the Eagles, the Rams, the Lions, the Packers.
Well, also think about it. This was the caption of the specific NFL power rankings, not our power rankings.
Yeah, not.
I know, but I'm trying to think. Well, did they have the Seahawks? Oh, they did have the Seahawks.
They had the Seahawks at 7.
Yeah, that's crazy. But okay.
But yeah, there's not a lot to say about them. They're just a really complete team. And
what was that AFC team that was in that spot?
Our number 2 team, the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
I put the Bills at 2 this week because our schedule's been really easy, and also we did not play good this week. So, but I guess we're still undefeated. So, oh no, we're 2 in the power rankings.
It's so weird. Both of these teams, and I'll wait to talk about the Eagles until we get to them at 1 in just a second. But both of these teams have one specific issue that really makes me cautious about putting them 1. So for this week, it was pretty much just a which one do I feel like has cost them less, which I feel like is the Eagles. But the Bills issue is, and again, shout out me for basically manifesting this, is that their defense is not playing the best ball.
Specifically the run defense.
Shout out Dorian Strong, my goat.
I will say, we do have a decent amount of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Maxwell Harrison's been out. I know Ed Oliver had some issues. I think Taron Johnson's been out a little bit, but like part of the problem is just that we haven't been good with our run schemes. We had one good defensive game against the Jets, and otherwise we've been pretty bad defensively, which it's been fine because of our schedule, but this defense has to step it up for the playoffs. And we say this every year, but they seriously have to. And seriously, Joey Bosa needs to figure out how to tackle Spencer Rattler. The guy missed him like 5 different times. He got juked out so many times in that game against the Saints. Specifically Joey Bosa. But yeah, not much to say about the Bills overall. We're wearing our rivalries jerseys next week against the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. But the Eagles are at number 1.
Yeah, the Eagles are at number 1. This is no shock. They are continuing to get it done. The one issue that I have with the Eagles is, they cannot play 4 quarters. Like, against the Rams, it took them until quarter 4 to wake up. And against the Bucks, I mean, that Eagles offense sold that second half. I'm not going to lie. That comeback was the Bucks game to lose. And they did lose. But
Jalen Hurts did not complete a pass in the entirety of the second half.
No, he did not. And
he only did one.
And he looked incredible in the first half too.
Which I don't care about. I don't care about him not completing 1 of 6 passes in the second quarter. People are trying to make it this big storyline about how overrated he is. It's okay. Like, whatever. Jalen Hurts.
I mean, Eagles fans overrate him a little bit because they put him on the level of like Allen and Mahomes and Burrow. But like, there's also fans that say he's not top 10, which is also obscene.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Find the middle ground. Like, he's like top 6 to 7 to 8. Like
6, 7.
Maybe top 5, depending on how you kind of order your top 5 around. I know there's like people put Justin Herbert there, and I know he can't perform in the playoffs thing. People put Stafford there. There's the old comments, you know. People put Mayfield or Goff there, the inconsistencies. People put the Hurts there, but sometimes he has the best team around him and blah, blah. All those quarterbacks are kind of in that niche. I think the top 4 is pretty decisive with Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, and Burrow. And then you kind of have the mix in that top 10 area. But
yeah, Jalen Hurts, I don't think it's any issue of the whole Jalen Hurts being overrated thing. It's just inconsistency with the team. That second half was scary. And even though I don't believe those stats reflect poorly on Jalen Hurts, come on. Like, that offense has to do something in the second half. They can't just fall asleep. The Bucks really, really did make a serious comeback there at the end, and it could have been pretty bad. And I honestly thought they were going to lose that game because it's the Bucks. But thank Thankfully for them, they didn't. But they're definitely someone to watch out for, with a lot of good NFC teams right behind them for that 1 seed. And more importantly, the 1 spot in the Footballers Anonymous power rankings. Like, dude, you don't want to lose that. But that is it for our top 12. Going through all the power rankings from bottom to top, we have at Ultra Baddie, the Titans at 31, the Bengals at 30, the Saints. Moving out of the Baddies at 29, we have the Jets, 28, the Panthers, 27, the Dolphins, 26, the Browns, 25, the Texans, 24, the Raiders, 23, the Giants, 22, the Vikings, 21, the Cardinals, 20, the Ravens, 19, the Cowboys, 18, the Patriots, 17, the Bears, 16, the Commanders, 15, the Falcons, 14, the 49ers, 13, the Steelers, 12, the Broncos, 11, the Chiefs, 10, the Jaguars, 9, the Seahawks, 8, the Packers, 7, the Chargers, 6, the Colts, 5, the Lions, 4, the Buccaneers, 3, the Rams, 2, the Bills, and 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. Friendly reminder, these are our power rankings, which automatically makes them better than Peepers Goes. Who wants to talk about the Pick'ems League now?
So we done goofed because we took our week off. Or it was not really a week off. It was kind of a circumstantial week off. But we didn't make the picks for the FBA account. So they're way behind everyone else.
Yeah.
And with that being said,
I also missed a game. I accidentally did not put my pick in for the Thursday night football game. I thought I did because, I thought, of course, I would pick my team. But I just didn't. So, yeah.
With that being said, we know you would have picked Arizona.
Yes, I would have lost it anyways. So,
starting from the top of the league, we got RT Remco's picks and Buffalo Bill picks sitting at 44 and 19 at the very top. ESPN fan 247783489 and Cam Bam are kind of tied for third right now at 43 and 20. A little bit of a slide for Cam Bam, but that's okay. There's a gap though. Those 4 are at the very top, kind of in a 4-way race. Then Charlie signed FBA tables at 40 and 23. I'm sitting at 39 and 24, and then the 2 of them are sitting at 38 and 25. Obviously the Footballers Anonymous picks are kind of buried right now, but it's okay. They're a week behind.
We're gonna keep going with them anyway.
Yeah,
we could
Overall, everyone in the league is within 6 games, so it's not the worst in the world. But
Alex, I'm thinking about it. After the episode, we can go through and see what all the FBA picks would have been, just to see what the actual record.
Yeah, we will go ahead and
because
do that.
we did make individual picks. They just were not inputted onto the FBA account.
Yeah.
But with that, we get to talk about Footballers Select. We got 3 games of the week we're going to pick for you guys. Ian, you want to run us through those?
All right. To start, we have Denver going into Philadelphia on Sunday at 1 p.m. EST to take on the Eagles. I'm going to be taking Philadelphia in this matchup. I just think they're the better team. And like I said, I don't know. Yeah, just like I was saying earlier, I just like they're a good team. Yeah.
I don't think there's any question. Eagles all day. I'm super worried about Bo Nix and not worried about the Eagles.
I want to take Denver because I like Denver a lot, but I can't. Our second game of the week is between Tampa Bay and Seattle, which is going to be a throwback matchup.
Elite uniform matchup.
Elite uniform matchup.
This is going to be a real interesting game. I am honestly, I've been debating my mind about this one a lot. It is a very interesting timing for the game, as well as just a very interesting game in general. Funny enough, Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold, a couple of years ago say that when they were both on the Panthers, right? But they are both looking pretty solid. Both these teams look pretty solid. This defense has been incredible. It's in Seattle, which is important to note. I'll let y'all go first.
I mean, Baker Mayfield, both of these teams have proved me wrong. Seattle's defense is incredible. But honestly, I'm going to take Tampa's offense in this matchup. I think they can do it. They came this close to beating Super Bowl champion Eagles. I think they can do it on the road. Also, I like their uniforms just a little bit. Just a little. The white creamsicle uniforms. I'm not the biggest creamsicle uniform guy, but oh man, those away ones, those are nice. So I'm gonna rock with Tampa.
I am currently very back and forth on this matchup. These are both 2 teams that I'm very, very high on. It's kind of rough for me to sit here and say that I think one team will win over the other team. I see it going both ways. But at the end of the day, I have to make a pick, and I'm going to be sticking with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers Baker Mayfield MVP campaign. I think that they're just the more solid team. I have more faith in the Tampa Bay than I do Seattle by just a slim margin. So I'm going to be taking Tampa Bay in this matchup.
Baker Mayfield's MVP campaign will continue in this game, but with that being said, I'm taking Seattle.
Wow.
I wouldn't even
Technically not an upset by Vegas standards, though. Vegas actually has Seattle.
I wouldn't call it an upset, no matter who wins, to be honest.
But I'm taking Seattle. I think they're rolling, and I think also just the Bucks not having Mike Evans is actually the difference.
That's a valid point.
I think the Seahawks will be able to maybe not shut down Ibuka, but limit him a little more than the other teams have been able to. And I think that'll be enough because they don't have Evans,
Fair. And our last game, I'm going to be real. I personally don't feel like this is a very hard choice. But we have the Commanders with Jaden Daniels back coming into SoFi against the Chargers on Sunday at 4:25 Eastern. The only reason that I would have doubts about this game is because of how the Chargers played against the Giants. But I still have plenty of faith. I definitely pick the Chargers in this matchup.
Me too. I'm sticking with the Chargers. I love them. I don't, give me the Chargers. Even if Jaden Daniels is back, I still think it's
Jaden Daniels is confirmed to be back.
He will be back. I'm still taking the Chargers. I think
First of all, it'd be wrong for me to pick the Chargers because of my conspiracy. I'm obviously joking a little bit, but also I think this is a Jaden Daniels bounce back game. I think this is a Commanders bounce back game. I think their offense actually starts clicking, not fully because Daniels is still recovering from his injury a little bit. He's got a knee sprain and whatnot. He won't be able to run the ball, but I think the offense in general starts clicking, and I think the defense does well enough to where they edge out the win against LA.
All right. For context, in our game of the week picks last week, Ian and I both went 2-1. Alex went 1-2. Meanwhile, in our college picks of the week last week, we all went 2-1. This week, I do have 3 games for you. I have, of course, College Game Day, number 16 Vandy at number 10 Bama. That's right. My own personal sleep paralysis demon, Diego Pavia, is marching into Bama. Oh man, and I just saw the picks that both of these guys made. Jeez. For the storyline,
we built for this. We're Vanderbilt.
Oh no. For the storyline, I want to pick Vandy, but I friggin' Diego Pavia needs to stop haunting my nightmares, so I'm going to take Bama and just hope.
Bama.
If Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech and ODU was the only team that was considered the best team in the league, and the only thing that they had to do that was to beat Virginia Tech, but Vandy also beat Virginia Tech?
You have a point.
Vandy's going to beat anyone that's not ODU.
You do have a point. I mean, yeah, no, that's entirely valid. Moving into our second game, we have number 24, UVA, at Louisville. Louisville 4-0 on the season. UVA coming off of a crazy win against FSU. I also hate picking this game, but I'm going to take the Wahoos and say nothing else about it.
What is a Wahoo, bro?
It sounds like a slur, right? That's not even their mascot, too. They're the Commodores.
UVA just needs to,
but they call themselves.
I'm taking Louisville. You want to know why I'm taking Louisville?
Or sorry, they're not the Commodores, they're Cavaliers, but they're the fabulous marching Cavaliers.
Remember when I tried to link the Cardinals and the Louisville Cardinals with opposites? It didn't work. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals this week over the Titans, so the Louisville Cardinals are going to win.
I see. And then our last game of the week, another Florida game. We got number 3 Miami at number 16 FSU. I also hate.
Did I say what's the last one? I actually don't know if I said that or not.
I think you said it, but say it.
I'm taking Louisville, just in case.
Yes, sir. I hope Louisville wins. I really, really, really hope Louisville wins. Coming in this next game, we got another ACC matchup. The ACC's been playing incredible football, beating each other up. It's awesome. We got number 3 Miami taking on number 16 FSU. We got a steaming hot Miami team coming into FSU, coming off a horrible loss, but they are at home in an incredible atmosphere. Man, I I also hate Miami. But FSU, you're on fraud watch for me, so I am taking Miami.
What's going to happen?
Do not ever make that symbol in my presence again. Leave.
Shout out Devin Hester.
You know what's going to happen? Miami's going to be winning. Miami will be winning most of the game. FSU, though, they'll hear in the distance the trumpet playing of the true Carson. He won't be playing their theme, but his trumpeteering will motivate the marching band to play as loud as possible, interrupting the signal calling of Miami's offense as they're trying to take the last kneel out in the game. Their QB mishears the read. He goes for a fake quarterback kneel, goes and throws it to the end zone. It's intercepted by FSU. The FSU player runs it back, scores the game-winning touchdown. Mind you, this is a fake kneel. It's just Miami's quarterback Carson being stupid because he's not the real Carson.
We're gonna ignore the fact that the marching band playing during the snap is 100% a penalty against FSU. We're just gonna pretend that's not a thing, and yeah, I'm gonna hit him with that oh, and suddenly it's all gonna it's peak, peak, bro. Ian, get out.
Now,
stop making that freaking U. Get out.
What are you talking about?
He's making the U. I'm going to do the whatever FSU's logo is. Like the wait, what is FSU's logo?
Seminoles.
I know that, but what is is it? Yeah, his mouth is open. Yeah,
he's going like.
Yeah, I'm doing the FSU.
Stop it, Ian. I gotta hit him. Although I guess on my camera it's backwards. So that.
Also, I think I'm picking the Dolphins this week. So by logic, Miami's losing.
No, because
No. Because this isn't mascots. This is cities. So it's reversed.
Yeah, the cities are reversed. The mascots
cities
are the same.
Reversed. Mascots are the same. How have you not been keeping up, bro? All right. Anyways,
gotta keep up with the times, man.
Anyways, Footballer Nation. That brings us to the end of this episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We did not fly through this one. Our recording is at 2 hours. So, oops. You guys are going to be digesting two weeks of content over a little bit of extra time. But we hope you guys enjoy. And if you did stay until the end of the pod, thank you guys. We love you all. If you aren't subscribed on YouTube, please do that. It means the world, and you can see all of our videos, live streams, and so much extra content. Make sure to follow us, FBA Pod, on TikTok. Friendly reminder, our new album apparently will be releasing when we hit 100 followers there. You can also follow Footballers Anonymous on Instagram and, of course, Facebook, where we only post mini memes. Don't forget to buy your merch at footballersanonymous-shop.fourthwall.com. It's pretty cool there. Yeah, thank you so much. Footballer Nation. Let's rock.